it obviously brings us to the big elephant in the room, which is Dark Souls and Souls games in general.
I think that was the big elephant. I think you just want to talk about Dark Souls really, really bad.
I say it's the elephant in the room just because every time a new one of these games comes out, you get the classic, where are the difficulty settings for Sekiro, for Elden Ring,
Yeah.
etc. Which is why I suppose I think of it as the elephant in the room when it comes to these kinds of difficulty discussions. And again, that's something that I'm very in two minds about, because I personally do think that the games would probably be worse if there were difficulty settings, and not because they have difficulty settings inherently, just because I think what makes those games good, and I think Sekiro is the prime example of this, is that they're very focused experiences because they only have one difficulty. They're developed with this one difficulty in mind. All of the work goes into like balancing it and creating enemies that are interesting within sort of the range of difficulty that they're aiming for. And that goes for the bosses and all of that stuff. And the more difficulty settings you add in, the more testing time there is, the more balancing time, the more you have to get, like, you know, loads of different people to play it. It's just going to take a chunk of time out of the development that could be spent on honing that one difficulty and one version of the game that I think would objectively just make the games worse. That's my hot take.
That's certainly possible. Even if they were to have the one true difficulty, polish it perfectly, and then add two more, say, easier difficulties below that and do their best, I think you're right that you're just splitting your attention at that point. You're not going to nail it 3 times. And then you're going to have the players who are playing on normal or easy or what have you. They're having a lesser experience because those just aren't as polished. And I think that is a legitimate argument for kind of the sanctity of the play experience. And, you know, to muddy the waters further and just confuse myself even more, you know, if it's like a moral issue or with, you know, gatekeeping players out of like enjoying an experience, like there's no difficulty settings in Boomerax, and there's not going to be. And most people just aren't going to be able to play that game because it's way too fucking hard. And it's like, did I do something evil because many, many people, you know, can't enjoy a game that they maybe otherwise would have enjoyed if it were a little bit easier? And I don't know.